The glass door to Whitmore and Associates swung shut behind me with a soft click. I'd brought Emma's laptop charger. She'd forgotten it that morning in her rush. At 9 p.m. on a Thursday, I expected the law firm's lobby to be empty, maybe a security guard, nothing more. Instead, fluorescent lights blazed down every corridor. I signed in at the front desk. The night guard barely glanced up from his phone. "5th floor," I said, though he hadn't asked. Emma worked as a paralegal in the litigation department. My daughter, 29 years old, sharp as a tack, graduated top of her class from Georgetown. She'd been with this firm for 2 years, always talking about making junior associate soon. The elevator hummed upward. 5th floor. The doors opened to more blazing lights and the sound of fingers flying across keyboards. I walked past cubicles, looking for Emma's workspace near the northeast corner. That's when I heard it. "You're still here?" A man's voice, dripping with amusement. "It's past 9, sweetheart. Even the cleaning crew went home." I stopped walking. The voice came from around the corner, near the copy room. "I'm almost done with the motion, Mr. Harrington." Emma's voice. Tired, strained. "You said you needed it first thing tomorrow." "I said I needed it Monday." "Tomorrow's Friday." His laugh was sharp. "But since you're too stupid to read a calendar, might as well finish it now. Save me the trouble of fixing your mistakes over the weekend." I stepped around the corner and froze. My daughter sat on the floor. On the actual floor. Her laptop balanced on her knees, her back against the wall beneath the copy room's harsh lighting. An empty vending machine sandwich wrapper lay crumpled beside her. Her eyes were red-rimmed. She'd been crying. Standing over her, coffee cup in hand, stood a man in his late 30s. Expensive suit, perfectly styled hair, the kind of smile that never reached the eyes. He took a sip from his cup and looked down at Emma like she was something he'd scraped off his shoe. "Why are you on the floor?" I asked quietly. Emma's head snapped up. "Mom?" Her face went pale. "What are you doing here?" The man, Harrington, turned to me. His smile widened. "And you are?" Her mother. I kept my voice level. I looked at my daughter. "Emma, why are you sitting on the floor?" She started to stand, fumbling with her laptop. I'll tell you why." Harrington cut her off. He leaned against the doorframe, completely relaxed. "Because there are no available conference rooms, and I need her working where I can check on her. Can't trust someone like her with important work unsupervised." Someone like her. I felt something cold settle in my chest. "I see." I walked closer. Emma had managed to stand up, clutching her laptop like a shield. I could see it now, the exhaustion in her face, the weight she'd lost, the slight tremor in her hands. How had I missed this? And the conference rooms are unavailable because actual attorneys are using them. Harrington's tone made it clear he found this conversation boring. Emma here is a paralegal. She's support staff. She works where there's space. And right now, that's the hallway. He turned back to Emma. "Speaking of which, I didn't say you could take a break. That motion won't write itself." "It's 9 p.m., I said. "She's been here since?" 7 a.m. Emma's voice was barely a whisper. "But it's fine, Mom, really. I just need to finish this, and then I'll have another assignment for her." Harrington checked his watch. Discovery responses. "Should only take you until midnight if you focus." 7 a.m. to midnight, 17 hours. "And you're paying her overtime for this?" I asked. Harrington laughed. "She's salaried, no overtime." He pushed off from the doorframe. "Look, Mrs. Mitchell. Mrs. Mitchell. I'm sure you're very proud of your daughter for landing a job at a prestigious firm like Whitmore and Associates, but she needs to understand how things work here. If she wants to make it in law, she needs to put in the hours. Work harder than everyone else. Prove she's not just another diversity hire who can't cut it." The cold in my chest spread to my limbs. "Diversity hire?" I repeated softly. "Mom, please." Emma's voice cracked. "Just please. I need to finish this." Harrington gestured at her laptop. "See? She gets it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have dinner reservations at Del Frisco's. Emma, I want that motion in my inbox by 10 p.m. Sharp. Don't disappoint me again." He started to walk away, then paused. "Oh, and Emma? You're spelling defendant wrong in paragraph 3. Might want to fix that before you embarrass yourself further." He walked off, whistling. I stood there, watching my daughter's shoulders shake. She wasn't crying. Not anymore. She'd gone beyond that to someplace darker, emptier. "Baby," I said gently. "How long has this been going on?" "It's fine." She wiped her eyes roughly. "I just need to work harder. Be better. If I can just—" "How long, Emma?" She broke. 6 months. Since he made senior associate and I got assigned to his team. But Mom, I can't quit. I have law school loans, rent, and if I leave Whitmore, everyone will know I failed, that I wasn't good enough. I took the laptop from her hands and closed it. "Come with me." "Mom, no. I have to." "Come. With me." I led her to the elevator. She protested the whole way, but her protests were weak, mechanical. The fight had gone out of her months ago. I realized that now. We rode down in silence. At the ground floor, I walked her past the security desk, out the glass doors, into the parking garage. My car was on level 3. "Where are we going?" Emma asked. "Dinner." "I can't. The motion is not getting done tonight." I drove to Morton's Steakhouse. Emma stared out the window, silent tears streaming down her face. At the restaurant, I requested a quiet table in the back, ordered her the filet, medium rare, with garlic mashed potatoes, her favorite since she was 16. While we waited for the food, I pulled out my phone. "Who are you calling?" Emma asked. "An old friend." The phone rang twice before a woman's voice answered. "Catherine? Do you know what time it is?" "Hello, Diane." "Yes, I know it's late. I need to talk to you about something." Diane Porter and I went back 30 years. We'd been roommates at Wellesley, maid of honor at each other's weddings, godmothers to each other's children. Life had taken us in different directions. She'd climbed the legal ladder while I'd chosen teaching, but we'd stayed close. Talked every week, visited twice a year. I hadn't mentioned that Diane was also the managing partner at Whitmore and Associates. "What's wrong?" Diane's voice sharpened. "Is everything okay? Tell me about Douglas Harrington." Silence. Then, "Why?" "Because he's been abusing his authority, creating a hostile work environment, and I just watched him verbally assault my daughter in your office hallway." "Emma works at Whitmore?" Diane sounded genuinely surprised. "Catherine, I didn't know. We have over 200 employees. I don't personally oversee." "I know. I'm not blaming you. But I need you to look into something for me." I explained what I'd witnessed. Emma sat across from me, fork frozen halfway to her mouth, listening as I laid out everything. The floor sitting. The 17-hour days. The diversity hire comment. Diane listened without interrupting. When I finished, there was a long pause. "I'll handle it," Diane said finally. "Monday morning." "Thank you. Catherine?" "I'm sorry. Truly. If I'd known." "I know. We'll talk later." I hung up. Emma stared at me. "Diane Porter is your friend? The managing partner, Diane Porter?" "We were roommates in college." "And you never mentioned this?" "Mom, I've been working there for 2 years. You never mentioned you worked at Whitmore. You just said a law firm downtown." I cut a piece of my salmon. "Besides, I don't trade on my friendships. You earned that job on your own merit." But now Emma's voice rose. "Now she'll think I only got hired because of you. That I'm not qualified. That I—" Emma Rose Mitchell. I used her full name, something I rarely did. "You graduated summa cum laude. You passed the bar on your first try. You are brilliant and capable, and you earned every single thing you've achieved. What happened tonight has nothing to do with qualifications, and everything to do with a small man who gets his kicks from belittling people he perceives as beneath him." The food arrived. We ate in silence for a while. "What happens Monday?" Emma asked finally. "I don't know. But I trust Diane to do the right thing. He's going to make my life hell. Even if she talks to him, he'll find ways to retaliate. They always do. Maybe. Or maybe not." Emma looked down at her plate. "I'm scared, Mom." "I know, baby. But you're not alone. You've never been alone." We finished dinner. I drove Emma back to her apartment, waited while she packed a bag, then took her home with me. My house, the one she'd grown up in, the one with her childhood bedroom still intact, photos on the walls from when life was simpler. She fell asleep almost immediately, still in her work clothes, curled on her side like she used to do when she was small. I sat in the kitchen, drinking tea, thinking about Douglas Harrington and men like him, the ones who mistake cruelty for strength, who build themselves up by tearing others down, who hide behind job titles and corner offices and think that makes them untouchable. I thought about calling Diane back, asking her to go easy, to handle it quietly. Then I thought about my daughter sitting on that floor. No. Some things needed to be loud. Monday morning, Emma called in sick. I didn't argue with her. She needed time to breathe, to sleep, to remember who she was before 6 months of systematic degradation. I went to my book club meeting, had lunch with my sister, kept my phone nearby. Diane called at 2 p.m. "It's done," she said. "Tell me." I came in early this morning. Pulled Emma's timesheet records. Harrington's been making her clock out at 5 p.m. but continue working. Wage theft. Then I reviewed her work product. "Catherine, your daughter's writing is exceptional, better than most of our junior associates." I compared her original drafts to the versions Harrington submitted under his name. He changed maybe 10%, mostly to insert his preferred phrases, but took full credit. I gripped the phone tighter. "I called him into my office at 8 a.m., Diane continued. "With HR present and our general counsel, laid out the evidence. The wage theft alone would be grounds for termination, but combined with the hostile work environment and documented pattern of harassment, we had 3 other paralegals on his team file informal complaints that HR had noted but never escalated. What happened?" He tried to laugh it off, said he was toughening them up and that law is a demanding profession. I gave him 2 options: resign immediately with a neutral reference or be terminated for cause with full documentation. He chose resignation. Security escorted him out at 8:45 a.m. I closed my eyes. "Thank you, Diane." "Don't thank me. I should have been paying closer attention." She paused. "I'd like to offer Emma a position on my personal team, direct report to me, significant raise, normal hours, and full credit for her work. If she's interested, I'll tell her. And Catherine, I'm implementing a new reporting system, anonymous hotline, quarterly reviews, mandatory management training. This shouldn't have happened. It won't happen again." That evening, I sat Emma down and told her everything. She cried again, but different tears this time. Relief, disbelief, a glimmer of something that might have been hope. "I don't know if I can go back," she said. "Even with Harrington gone. The other associates, they saw how he treated me. They'll think I'm weak, then prove them wrong. Not by working yourself to death, but by being exactly who you are. Brilliant, thorough, kind." I took her hand. "Or don't go back. Start somewhere new. Go into public service. Open your own practice. Teach. You have options, Emma. You've always had options." She thought about it for 3 days. On Thursday, she called Diane and accepted the position. 6 months later, Emma appeared in court for the first time, arguing a motion in front of a federal judge. She wore her power suit, the navy one, with the perfect fit. She stood tall, spoke clearly, and won. I sat in the gallery, watching my daughter do what she was born to do. After the hearing, we met for coffee. Emma was practically glowing. "Judge Morrison complimented my brief," she said it was some of the best legal writing he'd seen from a junior attorney. "That's wonderful, honey. Diane's recommending me for junior partner track. Said I've exceeded every expectation." Emma stirred her latte. "Mom, I need to ask you something." "What is it?" "Why didn't you tell me about Diane? All those times I complained about work, about Harrington, you never mentioned you could have helped." I considered my answer carefully, because you needed to know you could do it yourself, that your success was yours, not something handed to you because of who you knew, and you did do it yourself. You earned your way into Whitmore. You earned Diane's respect through your work, not my friendship. I just made sure someone was paying attention when you needed it most." Emma reached across the table and took my hand. "Thank you for seeing me, for not letting me disappear. You're my daughter. I'll always see you." We finished our coffee and walked out together into the late afternoon sun. Emma had a deposition to prepare for. I had a pottery class, normal life, moving forward. But sometimes, late at night, I still think about that hallway. My daughter on the floor, exhausted and alone. The man who thought his title gave him the right to break her spirit. I think about how close she came to believing him, to internalizing his cruelty as truth. And I'm grateful, so grateful, that I forgot that laptop charger, that I showed up when I did, that I had a friend in the right place who cared about doing right. Some people call it luck. I call it love. The fierce, protective kind that doesn't let go, doesn't give up, doesn't accept that this is just how things are. Because it's not. It doesn't have to be. And every single person deserves someone who will stand up and say, enough. My daughter deserved better than that floor. That man, that small, cruel version of success that demands you shrink yourself to survive. She deserved to rise, to thrive, to take up space and speak her truth and be celebrated for the remarkable person she is. And now, finally, she could. That's all any mother wants. To see her child free, to watch them fly, to know that when the world tried to clip their wings, someone was there to say, not today, not my child, not ever. I stayed calm that night in the hallway. I didn't yell or threaten or make a scene, but I made a call. I stood up. I said, enough. And sometimes, that's all it takes. One person who refuses to look away. One person who says, this is wrong. One person who has the power to change things and chooses to use it. Diane did that. She could have protected Harrington, protected the firm's reputation, swept it under the rug like so many do. Instead, she chose justice. She chose what was right. And my daughter got to keep her dream without sacrificing her dignity. That's the ending I wanted. The ending we all deserved. Not revenge, just fairness. Just someone finally holding a bully accountable. Just a mother's love and a friend's integrity and a young woman's talent finally getting the recognition it earned. Simple, powerful, true. That's the story I'll tell anyone who asks, how did your daughter become so successful? And I'll smile and say, she did it herself. She always had it in her. I just made sure someone was watching when it mattered most.